Welcome to yoga. Today we're going to take a nice little journey on our mat. We're going to start with a little restorative posture. We'll end in a more restorative way, but in between we're going to have some nice gratitude flows. So as you get started, go ahead, grab a blanket, something that you can roll up. I'm going to take this, I've rolled it up pretty tight. If you have I wouldn't probably not going to go with the big bolster. You could. But if you have maybe a smaller bolster pillow or something, that would also work. But something that's going to give you a little lift, or even a rolled up towel would be nice. A scarf or a strap of some sort, a yoga strap or a scarf or belt or something that you can use to lengthen your arms. And as always, a couple of blocks, super handy to have. So we'll start by reclining. Now this blanket, this little roll that I've created, is going to run right across if you're a person who wears a bra, then it's going to be right there at that bra line. Or if that's not something familiar for you, you can think about that as just your mid back, kind of at the bottom of the rib cage as your ribs start to attach here and then end, and your spine can continue to come down. So right about that mid thoracic space. So your armpits will be on the other side of the blanket. I'm also going to take a couple of blocks. Now this is something optional, but I'm going to place them here on the sides just to give the legs a little bit of support. So as I recline back, I'm going to gauge where that needs to go. Again, armpits will be on the other side of that blanket. So I'm right here. I'm going to recline all the way back. Now you're going to have a couple of options with your legs. If it's a little too high, if that bolster roll that you've created is too high, you might still place a little small towel or something folded up behind your head. Now we do want the head to possibly be a little bit lower than your chest. So we're trying to create a little more openness here through the chest and in the spine. So a little extension there. So start by finding the place that you can settle into pretty comfortably, and we'll go ahead and just bring the feet closer together. The knees opening out to the sides. Now that may not be comfortable for you right off the bat, so just kind of gauge that. Sometimes I like to open and close them a few times, just like little butterfly wings, to let my body know that I'm asking it to open up a little and to get the hips a little more mobile. So now that I feel pretty comfortable there, I'm going to slide some blocks, just kind of wedge them underneath the outer thigh area so that they've got some support here. So I want you to kind of take a little moment there, check in with the rest of your spine. Are you overarching in your low back? If you feel like you're really kind of arching open, I want you to continue to draw your tail down just a little towards your feet. And we are looking for openness, but we don't want an over-exaggeration in the lumbar curve. So start here, taking a big deep breath in. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Kind of let them hug down the back. You might even snuggle the shoulder blades into the back a little more. So it's a fantastic posture to help you to open up. Maybe even if it's a space mentally where you're facing some situations that you need to allow yourself to let go. This is a great posture to aid in that, just that openness, exposing through the chest and the heart, openness through the hips. So taking that big deep breath in, exhale, let yourself become even heavier still. So feel yourself really sinking down into that support. I want you to slow down your breath as you count into about 4 or 5, slowly counting upward. When you reach the top of that 4 or 5 count, slowly exhale back. So counting from the number you inhaled to. So if you inhale to 4, start with 4, count back to 1, slow and steady with your breath. Softening the face, the jaw, the eyes. If you feel like your forehead is rocking all the way back and you're closer to the crown of your head, see if you can draw your chin down just a little bit, a small tuck to the chin, allowing just the back of your head to rest more on the floor. So as we're here, just focusing with our breath, our openness, I want you to start to find an intention for your practice. Maybe that intention is just to find yourself more open, to move through spaces without fear, to find comfort in the movements of your body. Whatever it may be for you, just take a moment, set that intention. Take a big breath in, and if it feels right for you, sweep the arms over the head for a moment. That will take a little more load to your back, so if you start to feel discomfort there, bring the arms back down. So you can place one palm on top of the other, palms facing toward the sky. So you kind of have this double diamond situation going on with your legs and with your arms. If it's a little intense, again, just move the arms back down away from the top of your head. You could even just start to bring your feet to the floor. So if you want to keep your arms here and see how it feels when you bring your feet to the floor and your knees up, you'll notice that dynamic will change, how you feel in your spine. With your next breath, we'll bring the arms back down where they started. If your knees were still open, go ahead and bring them back to center, the feet on the mat. Then taking your right arm, crossing it over towards your left side and start to roll. If you've got blocks there, just move them. And start to roll over onto that left side, placing your right hand toward the floor. And then just straightening that top leg a bit, just a gentle lift up. And we're going to move that little blanket roll just out of the way and come back down to the mat. And then notice how your spine feels as you lie flat on the mat for a moment. So with the feet still on the mat, knees bent, feel the contact points of your spine to the mat. Let it stay heavy, arms out to the sides, and just a little sway with your knees side to side. So I'm going to keep the feet pretty wide, about the width of the mat. Rocking, taking pause whenever you like. So if you find yourself to one side and it just feels like you need to stay there for a couple breaths, honor that and just stay there. It's okay. You don't have to constantly be moving. And if movement feels like the right thing for you, then go with that. It's always tuning in, noticing how you're feeling, honoring that feeling, and following the deep instinct that we all have. It's right deep into the gut here. Okay, that gut feeling about something. Start to honor that feeling. Well, come back. Find that space where your knees are just toward the sky again. Feet are on the mat. Drawing one leg up at a time, knee draws toward chest, set that side down, switching sides, opposite knee pulls in toward chest, and then release. Let's do it again. So bringing right knee up, give it a little hug, and then the left knee, like a little slow march, just hug it down. Now taking that right knee back into the chest and give it a little pause, hug it in. And start to slide your left leg down the mat. Both feet are going to be flexed. You're pushing through your heels strongly. But that right knee is also drawing in towards your chest, drawing it down, and then pushing through the left leg. So let's take another breath or two here. Start to move your left leg slightly into the midline or slightly over to the right side, just a few degrees. So maybe an inch or two. We're going to rock that knee, right knee, over to the left side. You can help it with your left hand. Right arm is just resting out from the shoulder. And we're just rotating, getting a nice rotation here. Pause, but come back to center and take a breath in. Exhale, and just begin your rotation again. We'll do that one more time. Inhale to center, exhale, rotating. As you rotate, pause. Now, if you still have a block over here, or if you have one within reach, you could even take that under your leg. I've put it on the second level. I'm just placing that kind of where that on the above side of my knee. I'm gonna take it a little diagonal. It just finds a little better support there for me. So from the top inside part of the knee to just below the knee. And you can stay right here, letting that leg stay heavy on the block. Or add a little movement by kicking the leg out from the knee to the foot and then just back again. Okay, just taking a few little kicks. Starting to find more long energy line through that leg up to your hip. And we'll take one more little kick there if you're following. And then bring it back to center, twisting all the way back in. We'll switch sides. So just sliding the right foot to the floor. Let's start there. Shift your hips back to center again. Bring the left knee in toward the chest. Flex the foot. We're going to slide the right foot down the mat. So let's pause here for a few rounds of breath. Continue to draw the left knee into you as close as you can. Draw it in toward the chest and then pull it down as much as comfortable for you. Push out through the right foot. Deep breath in. And with your exhale now, continuing by just drawing your right knee over to the left. Don't forget, you can move that right foot into the center line a little more. So you're just kind of moving on an axis here. Inhale, back to center. We'll do that dynamic rotation 3 times. Exhale, rotating. Just gives the spine a little more warning that you're asking it to rotate and that you're getting a little deeper each time. On that last one, pause. Once again, you can take your block and just place it under the leg. Now you're completely welcome to stay right here. If you want to add that little kick, we'll just extend the leg, put from the knee to the foot, and then bring it back in. So just small little kicks there. Exhale. I'm trying to keep that low back space pretty perpendicular to the floor right here, like a right angle. Palm is facing up. Shoulder opening, chest opening. And then with that last kick, bring the heel in, roll back to center once more. And then placing that foot on the floor. Take the right foot, bring it to the floor, swing your hips back into center. And let's take that block, we're going to place it between the inner thighs, arms by your sides. So feet are hip distance, about the same distance as your knees. We're squeezing the block here with the inner thighs as you lift the hips up into bridge and then lower down. So when you're lifting and lowering, I want you to think about everything moving as a unit. So from your ribs to your hips right here, kind of pull that rib cage down, feel the middle of your back pressing to the floor, the space where you had the blanket earlier. And now lifting everything up, it's moving as a unit rather than rolling through the spine. So let's just lift and lower a few times, starting to activate those glutes a little more. Inhale, contract your glutes, core solid, and then lift. Up and lower it back down, squeezing that block. Let's take last time here, lifting into bridge lift. And exhale, lowering down. So once you are all the way down, we'll move the block again, just setting it right off to the side. Go ahead and bring the knees into the chest, hug them both down. And from here, I want you to make your own decision. Remember, follow that gut instinct. If rocking and rolling your way up into seated feels like something that is great and you like how it feels and it feels wonderful for you, go ahead and do that. So if you're rocking and you're rolling and you'll roll all the way up. If that's not your jam, you're going to roll over, press yourself up. Always the safest way to come up. Okay, so find which one works better for you. So if you have any maybe tightness, tension in your neck and shoulders, rocking and rolling may not be the best option for you at this point. So just rolling over can be really quite nice. Comfortable way to get up. Best way to get out of your bed when you have to get up and go pee in the middle of the night too, by the way, friends. So roll yourself over and press yourself up with your arm rather than shifting into that bottom shoulder. Okay, so let's find just a tabletop position. I'm going to keep the blocks up here at the top available and a strap nearby. Okay, so we'll start just by placing hands to the floor, tabletop. Let the muscles between the shoulder blades just kind of sink down. So let everything, the spine, sinking between your shoulder blades. Don't worry about what's happening in your belly. It'll just come along for the ride and relax. Okay, now push to the mat and lift up between the shoulder blades. Not as much in your low belly again. Okay, so just focusing on your upper body for a moment. Sink between the shoulder blades. Imagine you could kind of pinch a pencil. If you had a pencil running down the middle of your spine, You could pinch it with your shoulder blades. Okay, then push it up and expose your spine up toward the sky. So push it back. Let it sink deeper. Inhale, so it's a little scapular retraction. And then exhale, pressing it up. And now we can move a little deeper into those bigger cat-cow moves. So inhale, let everything fall. Tail really rises, but not just by force, it's by gravity. Okay, belly coming forward, ribs are a little bit flared, that's okay. We're gonna lift up and then round it out. Start to add in that lower body so you get a stretch through the lumbar spine as well. Inhale, gazing forward, sink down between the shoulder blades. Exhale, protract those shoulder blades so you're pulling them apart and exposing the spine upward. One more time. Inhale, really sinking down between your shoulder blades. Gaze is forward. Neutral with your spine, and then you move up into that high arch. A little flexion here. So let's come back to center, and then just take a moment. As you walk your hands back, turn the toes under. Let's get a little action for those feet. Not a lot of people's favorite idea to stretch here, but it is very good. Very, very good. We get into the lower part of your calf, into the ankle. My toes are turned under. I'm sitting back on the heels. If that's something that's still not great, doesn't feel good for you, put a block back here and just kind of sit back towards your block. You're still going to get a stretch. It just may not be quite as intense, or maybe it is for you, right? Because that's where your threshold is. All right, now, go ahead and let's take that strap. I'm going to flip the feet back. So you can either stand on your knees if that feels better, or stand all the way up. Okay, so whichever one feels better for you. I'm going to take that strap. So as I'm facing you, I'll mirror you. So as I'm taking the strap, I'm going to take it with the left hand. Okay, slide it up above the head. Drop it down, reaching back now. So right hand goes out to the side, thumb goes down, palm is facing back. So notice there's a rotation. It's internally, so it rotates in. Take it back, let it just drop right by your side. Don't worry about bending the elbow yet. Okay. Now bend the elbow and just reach up to where you can. So if you had to scratch yourself in the middle of your back, that's what you're kind of aiming for. So if you had to reach up there, or like I call this my putting on suntan lotion, or putting on the lotion pose. That's what I call it. Okay, so you would take your tail down just a little, don't tuck, just a little, pull those ribs in. Now, I'm going to slide that hand down just a bit more, so right hand moves down. Inhale, so I've got plenty of space between my hands, notice here. Okay, so down, and then I'm going to move it up. Okay, so take it down, so adjust your hands accordingly. So right now I'm going to go ahead and slide that further down. I want more range of motion, so I'm going to bring that hand down. Now when I straighten the top arm, there's a little tension there for my bottom arm, but it's not over exaggerated. Okay. So now I'm going to pull with the bottom arm and bring the top hand down. So I'm going to keep turning to show you. So we're here. So inhale and exhale. This is great to do also with a stretchy band. We'll do just a couple more. Inhale. It might become a little more work with a stretchy band though. Here I'm looking for stretch. Bring it down. Good. Now I'll take that last time. Bring it up. And then just release your bottom arm. Bring it up and grab that strap. Okay. Reach it up and over to the right, tail down, and your ribs pull down slightly. Come back to center. Your head is moving in equal time with your arms, so your arms are not just reaching to one side. Okay, your head is moving in equal times with your upper body, so you're staying right in the middle, centered between the arms. Let those shoulders relax. No need for earmuffs up there. Let's bring it back to center. And now switching sides. So you're going to hold with your right hand, drop it down, left arm sweeps back. I'm going to hold it down pretty low to start, so I'm going to straighten that arm. And now straighten the top arm, pull, okay, and down. So this is also the getting out of the shower, drying your back pose. And we can find all kinds of practical applications, honestly, with this movement. And it's very important that we keep our upper body mobile. So once again, if you're feeling discomfort of your knees, go ahead and stand. But either way, I want you to find that nice neutral space with your spine so that your tail isn't kicking back, your ribs flaring out, right? I'm gonna keep it down, ribs down, 2 more times. If it's still too intense, move your hands further apart or don't go as deep. Okay, take that last one and then release it again. Take that hand up, slide it into that strap. Now this time I'm going to keep the head upright. I'm just going to move the arms until they make a right angle. Okay, from that position, now let's lean over. Push the ear into the bicep. Come back up. Keep your knees equally heavy. Now back to the other side. So I'm going to push that right ear into the right bicep and then lean. And come back to center. All right, take that band, bring it back, one little extra chest opening, and we'll find this again in a moment. We'll reach back, open up through the chest. Rib cage is down, so we're not doing this. Okay, ribs are down, chest slightly up, tail down. Bring it down, take that off to the side. Now you can always keep your blanket here if you're someone that tends to need to come down to your knees, say for a plank or for a chaturanga, but unfold it a little bit, please, okay, so that you don't have too much of a lift, because we will be moving through cobras as well. So I don't want the hips kind of sinking down lower than your knees. Okay, so find the right spot. Again, listen to your own body, find the right spot for you. So with your blocks at the top, always they're available so that when you need them, they're going to be ready. We'll take our down dog here, turning toes under, lifting up and pressing back. Let's find 3 big deep breaths. So as we start this next part of our journey here, we're going to flow a little bit through some sun salutations, and in that I'm going to give you options. Okay, so to follow your own instinct, follow what feels right. And let's start by walking forward. Okay, walking up toward the top of the mat. And then from here, sliding up halfway. I want you to bend your knees, slide your hands up just above your knees. Nice flat back so there's not a rounding here. Try to lift up through your chest. Your gaze is slightly forward with your sternum. Okay? Wherever your sternum is pointing, that's where your nose is pointing. Go ahead and fold forward. Inhale, lift up again, sweep out. Hands moving to center. And take a little moment right there. Now as we start this flow, we'll go through 4 rounds of sun salutations. And with each round, I want you to think about something you can be grateful for today. Okay, I'll say mine out loud, but you can use that. You can take your own, whatever you like. Okay, so inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, folding forward. So for me, it's finding peace and beauty within nature. That's something I'm grateful for today. And stepping back, finding big lunges as you step back. Now your knees can go down or stay up. I'm going to work from first level all the way up. Slowly bring it down. Again, lifting, inhale, just your chest. Your hips are heavy, feet are heavy. Through your cobra, inhale. Exhale, lifting up, pressing back into downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward, begin to walk or big steps back to the top, however it suits you to get there. Lift up halfway, offer up the heart forward. Exhale down. Inhale, sweeping all the way up. As I progress, you can stay at that first level we just did. Okay? Inhale, sweeping. Exhale. I'm grateful today for my ability to show up in my practice and to share with others. Stepping back. Slowly, either from the knees or the toes, lowering down to the mat. Lifting through the chest, lower body heavy, elbows in, cobra. Bring it down, inhale. Exhale, lift up and press back. Inhale, gazing forward, stepping or walking up, however many steps it takes. Lifting halfway. Exhale down. Sweep all the way up. Exhale to heart. Inhale, sweeping. Exhale. Inhale, lifting. One of my favorite gratitudes is always one of discernment. So I'm grateful that I can discern what's truly important. Being here with you, that's important. Lowering down, showing up for myself. Bring it up cobra or up dog if you want more power. Bring it down. Knowing when to let go of things that don't serve you. It's all a part of discerning. Stepping forward, lifting up halfway. Exhale down. Inhale, sweeping. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's take one more full round. Inhale. Exhale. Lifting again, halfway up, stepping back, plank from the knees or the toes, lowering down. Last gratitude here, lowering down. I am grateful for abundance. Abundance that flows to me, through me, for me, and to share it with you. So pausing in your last down dog for a moment. Soften the knees. Go ahead and send that right leg up to the sky behind you. Bend the knee and then flip the hip open. So really try to lift it up. I'm going to try to drop this left heel a little closer to the floor, but you stay where it works better for you. For me, it helps me to ground that foot. If your flexibility in your ankle doesn't allow for that, it's okay. I'm going to spin it back around and then step that right foot forward so your left knee can drop to the floor if needed, and as you step it up. Finding your lunge here. Left hand to the floor, either with the knee down or up, and we're going to spin it open. Okay, or spin into a little twist here. Right arm lifted. You're turning towards your front knee. And then go ahead, bring that right hand down. Grab a block that's nearby. I'm going to set that right over here to the outside of the right leg. Spin the left heel down, come up. And now we're rotating back. Sweep the left arm up. Reach over the head, dropping that right hip as far down as you can comfortably go. Your right knee is moving towards your right pinky toe. Straighten the right leg, bring your block back with you or lift up, fingertips to thigh or shin. Into triangle. And in my triangle, so it's always up to you. Once again, continue to listen to yourself. I do like to go down a little lower for my triangle, but that's because it's where I am today. Okay, so if you are here, perfect. It does not really matter. It matters on where you are for you. So I want to lean back like I'm leaning into a wall and then take that top arm and reach. Deep breath. Take one more breath here. And then drop that left hand toward the floor. Start to spin yourself around. So if you have your blocks or a piece of furniture nearby, lift yourself up a little higher as you pop that left foot in. And now we're in pyramid stance. So this can be quite intense. It's definitely a good hamstring stretch, but if those hammies are a little tight, you're going to find yourself maybe rounding and not feeling so comfortable here. So I want you to lift up higher, place those hands on something, and reach forward toward it. Okay. So it could also be down to the floor depending on your hinge point from your hip, what the flexibility is like in your glutes and in your hamstrings. Okay. Let's take a couple more rounds of breath with your pyramid. Let the head fall wherever you are. If you're up really, really high, don't let your head just drop completely. But if you're down maybe past your hip point, so past this hip crease, you can just let your head fall towards your foot. Let's go ahead and lift the chest up. Put a little bend in that right knee. I'm setting the blocks off to the side. Hands going back down, stepping the right foot back. And then as I do, I'm going to swing that left leg up into downward facing dog. Little three-leg dog. Lift up, rotate open, bend the left knee. So if this is still a little intense, bring it down a notch by moving into tabletop. So you always be thinking about what is working for you. Okay, so if every posture that we do has an alternative, now bring it back around. Step that left foot up, right knee can be on the floor to begin or through the whole process. Right hand to the floor. And spin it open. Left arm reaching. Always consider right knee can be down. Hand can be on a block. Let's take 2 more breaths. And bring it back around. Now, taking that left hand to the outside of your left foot, I'm going to take the block with me here and start to spin the right heel down without moving the left hip way back. All right, so going to keep those movements happening in opposing forces. So left knee moving to the left arm, right hip opening back, and then sweep that right arm overhead into your big side angle reach. Parsvakonasana. Let's take another breath. As you move into Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Straighten out your bottom leg, reach up. Once again, you could come up quite high or down low at any level. Reach your right arm over the head. Try to get both sides of your waist equally as long. Take that last full breath. Start to spin around towards your front foot. Pick up the back heel. You can either move to a higher elevated piece of furniture or wall or blocks and pick up that right foot, hop it in, come forward. Once again, it all depends on your flexibility level today, your range of motion. So this might be a little not even accessible. It's okay. It may not be something that you're going for today. Take your hands to that higher space. Remember, I told you, you can reach out right here. Perfect. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath. And then we'll put a little bend in that front knee. Go ahead and set the blocks off to the sides. Step the left foot all the way back. Follow that with the right, and we'll move one more time down through our flow. So knees to the floor or stay on your toes. Lower down, elbows by your sides. Floating up, little cobra or up dog. Lift and bring it down. All the way up, and we're just going to shift back now into child's pose. So take the knees nice and wide. Resting your forehead on the mat or on the back of your hands. As you start to come forward, shooting yourself all the way out on the mat. I'm going to start here. I'm going to clear my space a little. So take a strap, a little strap that we used in the very beginning, and we're going to take it and reach it behind us. Okay, so my palms are facing down. So I've reached back and I've got my strap, and my hands are going to be maybe a little bit wider than the shoulders. Okay, it just depends on you, again, how it feels for you. But as you're here, now the palms are down, but I want to pull them back a little bit. So like I'm going to stick the thumbs out to the sides, like you were going, hey, get your Fonzie thumbs on, okay? Turn them up a little. So you're holding your strap, rotate those thumbs. They don't have to point to the sky, but just point them out to the walls out across from you. Okay, so inhale, push down through the feet, nice and wide, through the pubic bone, and draw the shoulders back. Just try to lift the arms. Okay? Don't let your head just fall forward. Gaze forward, just where your sternum is pointing, and then bring it back down. So let's try that again. Inhale, reach back, lift up. It's not a big lift. I want you to keep your lower body really anchored. Glutes are active, quads are active, tops of feet on floor. Reach back and then bring it down. Turn your head to the one side. We're going to do it one more time. You may even start to feel your heart rate going up. Completely normal. Don't worry. Okay, inhale. Lift those arms. Gaze is forward. Now watch. Make sure that you're not letting your head dive forward. You're bringing your ears along with you, in line with your shoulders. And lower you down. Turn your head to the opposite side. Send that strap off to the side somewhere. Now, I'm going to take Elbows out to the sides like little cactus arms. So I'm turning first with the nose pointing toward the left. If you need to flip-flop it, that's okay. I'm going to take the left knee. I'm just going to slide it out about level with the hip. Okay? So now, got like a little half goalpost situation with that left leg, or a little half frog. So just a gentle opening of the left hip, left inner thigh. We can add a little more intensity if we want the shoulder to open or the right side of your chest to open more. We're going to keep this right arm out to the side like a little goalpost, so both arms look like they're at 90 degrees. Left hand slides in closer to my chest. And then I just start to spin open by pushing into that left hand and picking up the left foot, sliding it back. Pretty intense. See if it feels right for you in your chest. And then we're going to slide back again. Just let that foot drop. Go ahead and release it. So we're sliding left leg back, turning your head, nose toward the right. So sliding your right knee up and out, your heel follows with it. So you've got 90 degrees at your knee, 90 degrees at your hip. Idea is somewhere in that range. Slide your right hand back toward your chest. Push into it. You start to open now. You might only go part way. It's okay. All right, so if I push into that right hand a little bit and my body says, that's enough, this is as far as I'm going. Now if I can continue and it feels good for me on that side, I'm going to rotate back. Pretty intense on the chest. Just see how each part of the movement feels for you and only stop where you need to. Let's come back to center. Bring that right leg down to meet the left. Bring both hands underneath the chest to lift. Pressing up. Sending your hips back again. All the way back. As you begin to bring yourself forward once more, you're going to bring those blocks in again. Now, if you just have your yoga bolster and it's nearby, like I have behind me, you could use that. Okay. But ideally, I'm going to set myself up like a bolster. You take that same blanket. So I've got my blanket rolled back the way it was when we started. I'm taking both blocks and setting them down. So you can use just about anything here. It could be any household items to give yourself a little lift. So we just made a little bolster situation. I'm just placing the blanket on top of those blocks. Then I'm going to scoot up to it so that now my legs will rest over it. And you could do the same thing with your block or with your bolster, regular yoga bolster, or even set your yoga bolster on top of blocks to elevate more. So as I do so, I'm going to scoot the hips up so that when I roll back, that's going to stay right underneath the legs. Arms relaxing out to the sides. Get everything a nice little stretch. So I'm just going to lift up a little, push down through the back of the legs just a tiny bit first to lift the hips. Drop it back down. Relax the feet. Arms relax out to the sides. So come back to that place, similar to where we started, and just take a moment. Coming back to that intention that you originally set for yourself for this practice. Marrying that intention with your breath, deep breath in. So for the next 4 rounds of breath, try to also connect that intention with your breath and with your gratitudes that you had throughout your practice. If you don't remember what they were, find new ones. It's okay. It's better to be grateful for more than less. So that practice will serve you well. as you allow yourself the next few moments, just allowing your breath to move gently in and out. The tongue falling from the teeth, the eyes sinking deeper into the sockets. On your next breath, finding gentle movements with your fingers, your toes, your wrist, and your ankles. And then sweeping your arms overhead. Once again, if you feel like it's a good thing for you to lift your hips, you can do that here. Just find a nice big stretch. Bring it back down. Once again, we're going to roll over to one side. So just starting to bend your knees. You can place them on top of that blanket roll. Rocking off to one side to take a moment of pause. Use your arm like a pillow. Reconnecting once again with your intention just to move forward. As we first started this practice and we had our chest open. So we're moving forward, letting go, leaving behind what doesn't serve you, and pressing yourself back up into seated. Once you find that seated position, just take a moment. Sweep the arms up, big reach. Bring the hands down right to the heart. Take a moment here just bowing to your own inner wisdom, the voice within that guides your intuition. Just take one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, connecting these two spaces so your creative center and your intuition reside right there, right around the belly space, right around the navel. That gut feeling. And then connect that with the heart space to help guide you, lead you. So thank you for being here today. And I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Namaste.